Some big news today. U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Alabama, Jay Town, announced his resignation. Town says he has accepted a job with a Huntsville defense company so that he can be closer to home. The 46-year-old was appointed by President Trump in 2017 and was the second longest serving United States attorney in the nation. Town is a former judge advocate in the U.S. Marine Corps and was a senior prosecutor in the Madison County District Attorney's Office.